Hello, my makeup loving friends. How's it going? Welcome back. It's been a while, I know, but you're in for a treat because this is a two-parter. That's right. You get one episode today and another one tomorrow. With me, I have the gorgeous, beautiful, transcendent, magnificent, glorious, insert other adjectives here, Tia.
Oh my God.
I know, quite an introduction. You know the drill. All of her details are down below. She's an Instagram, she's a TikTok, she has a Patreon. Go follow it, do all the things. But thank you so much for tagging me, guys, in content, even though I was away on holidays and doing stuff. I so appreciate it. So I want to say a big thank you to Brianna, Ali, Beth, Gillian, Miss Charlie, Trendstopia, Makeup Release Radar, Chrissy, Shanna, Missy, Tia, Missa, Wilma Fingerdo, Tony Homeperm, Rhea, Claire, JW, Natalia, Katie, Haley, Kimberly, Kerry, Amber, Alexis, Lucy, Jane, Tina, Gaia, Catherine, Manuela T, Kylie, Gina, Heavenly Star, Lisa G, Anna C, Ilya, Jasmine, Sue, Kat, Cecily, Inez, Brogan, Alex, Flick, and Nicola. A big thank you to you all, and a big thank you to my Patreons. Our theme this week was a free for all. Just do whatever the fuck you feel like. So, yay! And we've done our own thing. It's a whole look. I'm not fucking explaining it. You work it out. Anyways, my Patreons have done looks too, so I will show them to you.
They will probably do so much better than us.
Well, they usually do. It's very upsetting. They do better than me, anyways. But I set the bar really, really low. But anyways, I'm gonna show you their looks now. And in true fashion, because we've been away for a while, there is a lot to talk about, hence the two-parter. So let's just get straight on into it. This is e.l.f. and it seems that they have their Halo Glow liquid filter, and there's a lot of talk about it potentially duping the Charlotte Tilbury, and I think this is great for people who don't want the Revolution kind of dupe, because some people such as myself aren't buying from Revolution. So I think this is kind of cool. There's 8 shades, they're $14, and you get 1 fluid ounce, and I gotta say the packaging is nice. They have the doe foot applicator,
Yeah,
that sort of thing. Yeah, I think this looks great.
everyone is doing this Hollywood flawless filter dupes. Collection did it, Revolution. Like, there's so many brands that are like duping it now. I'm actually pretty excited. Like, the e.l.f. one is definitely on my radar.
Yeah,
I feel like e.l.f. does really good with their affordable dupes.
they really do.
And I've already seen people review this, and it looks exactly the same. So I'm intrigued.
Same. I definitely have it on my list, and of late, I don't know what it is, but I've been I go through phases of products that I'm interested in. Like, eyeshadows will always be the thing that I gravitate to, but I go through periods of being like, I really want to try more blushes, I really want to try more lipsticks. And at the moment, I am very into face and foundation, and I want to play with that sort of thing. But I'm kind of particular in that I like fairly minimal coverage, and I think this could work out quite nicely for that. So I'm like,
Yeah,
that price, I'm not against it. And fuck it, I can get it in Boots once it does eventually arrive. So I
it
like.
should be. I think they said it should come to UK in August, so probably really soon because we're now at the beginning of August. So
Yes, that is how time is moving in a linear fashion. I love this. I think this is such a great idea. I'm all for the dupes because everything is expensive forever and always, and it's very upsetting, but I still want to be able to get things. So, yeah,
yeah,
I love it. And when I put it to you guys, my lordy, was this ever popular? 64% of you said love it, 24% said not for me, and quite interestingly, 12% of you said I'm on a no buy. So fair.
I would be that I'm on a no buy.
Yeah. I was like, I'm just a nosy bitch, like, trying to figure out these things. Then the next thing we have was Ace Beauté, and they said that they were developing this for the last 3 years. This is their Paletopoly, which is essentially an eyeshadow palette, but there's a game component to it. And I gotta say, I kind of like it. Like it's a 24 pan palette, and I like that there's some greens, there's pinks, there's purples. We've talked about this so many times that we're like the shades or the kind of combinations of colors of palette over the next couple of months is going to be those greens, pinks, purples, blues.
Yeah.
And that is incorporated into this. I kind of like, I think it's interesting that they've done like this game component. I don't think I have like the mental capacity or attention span to make it into a game, but like,
Yeah.
I think it's
Don't really understand how you make it into game. The color story is pretty. I like the purple tones in there. I like the yellows and greens and kind of those aubergine. There's some neutrals too, but on mine there's like one row. I actually really like the palette. It looks really pretty.
Do you know what this reminds me of though? Um,
Mm.
the glam light like ice cream palettes. It's kind of giving
Oh,
me glam light vibes, and not that's not a bad thing. Like I struggle to get glam light over here, whereas Ace Beauté is a lot more accessible.
yeah.
So I like this. I like that there's like depth, but there's also some light colors in there as well. I think that they've curated this really, really well. Like it is a 24 pan palette, and yet you have a lot of options here. I've
Mm,
seen palettes that have 30 shades and you'd struggle to make a couple of looks out of it. But this,
yeah.
I think this is done really, really well. I'm confused about the game component of it, but
Yeah, me
as a
too.
palette,
I don't really understand, but other than that, I like it.
same, same. Like I will, I think at some point pick it up, but it's not like a must get for me at the moment
Yeah,
because,
same.
you know,
Like
I
if I would see this somewhere on a good price, like I would be like, hmm, or in a sale somewhere, and it would be. But I'm not like it's not exciting enough for me to be like, oh, I want this now. I'm gonna go and buy it.
yeah, I agree. It's definitely in that sort of arena of like it's nice, but not like shit yourself nice. It's not like, oh, I've
Yeah,
abandoned all of my senses and bought this thing. Like I am trying to be relatively sensible and not buy everything under the sun. Although I did recently get that Danessa Merrick's palette, so I make no sense as a human being. So yeah, but this is what I do. I like forsake palettes like this to get other things. So I think this is nice, and I've seen kind of some things with it, and it does look good. But for the moment, I won't be getting it unless, like Tia said, it's on sale or something.
yeah.
Um, and I think a lot of us are in the same sort of boat because 38% of you said that you loved it, 34% said not for me, and 27% of you said that you liked some of it.
It's pretty even.
Yeah, I think so. And that's kind of like a good ballpark, I think, for palettes and stuff these days. And oh god, like Natasha Denona, she came out with that big bronze palette, I think about this time last year. And it seems to be this thing that she does that she comes out with the bigger palettes and then about a year later then comes out with the mini palettes. Like she did that with the Love, she's done that with the Zendo, she's done that over a couple of different ones. And now
Yeah,
it's the turn of the mini bronze. I think there's one or two shades that are in the original palette, but other than that, these are new-ish to speak. But I do think it looks an
yeah.
awful lot like her existing camel palette. Like all neutral palettes look the same to me. This,
I would rather pick this if I was like in a market.
yeah.
Would rather pick this than the big
Oh
bronze.
yeah.
I feel like it has good selection. I feel like it should have had one more deeper brown though. Because if you look at the shade russet on a deeper skin,
Yeah.
that's not that deep.
That's a
Like I
really good
feel
point.
like almost like blackened brown
Yes.
would have been nice in here. And then maybe get rid of that. Don't really understand because on the pans, that lighter shade looks like a beside, it's called flesh.
Yeah.
It looks really light, but then on the swatches, it doesn't look that light. Like even on a fair
It's
skin.
very deceptive, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a strange one. I mean, it's a $27 palette, which is obviously still expensive for a £5, but
yeah,
inexpensive for Natasha. I
yeah,
would agree. I would sooner go for this 5-pan palette than I would for like the big, what was it, 15 pans or 18 pans or something of bronze.
Yeah.
Because I think you'll
I
get
still want the grayish one, is it the
the
Zen?
mini Zendo.
Yeah. Is it
Yeah.
Zendo?
Well, the grey toned one is the Xenon.
Yeah, that one, the gray
I
one.
have that one. When you
Yeah.
come and visit, come and play with my makeup again.
Yeah, I will. Definitely.
That's how I'm luring everyone over. It's like,
Yeah.
okay,
Come play with
no
my
matter.
makeup. That's a really good thing though. Like the collection is big. There's plenty of stuff to play with.
Yeah, see, people don't like me as a person, but they like my stuff.
Yeah. They're like, I don't really care about Teresa, but she has so much good makeup. I'm gonna go there
I'll
anyways.
tolerate her presence so I can swap
Yeah.
it. Fair. Yeah, I mean, this is fine. I think if you're in the market for it, grand. I will always say those elf bite size. There's like one kind of neutral one that's kind of leans on.
Yeah, there's really like so many like smaller palettes these days that are so much more cheaper. Like even um Beauty Bay has like smaller than this. They have the 9 pan.
9 pan.
They have all colors, like every color you could ever think of. They have it. So for me, it's like I've tried Natasha Denona formula, and it is good. I
Yeah,
don't hate it, but I think you pay for the name there a bit.
I think
Like,
so too. I think this is good as like a little gift, you know,
yeah,
for that close friend of yours that just wants her neutral makeup and she wants to feel a bit special. So
yeah,
yeah, I don't hate it. I don't think it's like bad, but it's not really our sort of vibe. When I put it to you guys, again, same sort of boat. 22% of you said that you loved it, and 78% said not for me. So that's quite interesting.
yeah.
Oh, big
Oh Lord.
not for me. That is a fucking like sound bite for this. Oh Lord, this is. I mean, it has potential, or it had potential. I don't know how to even talk about this. This is YL Cosmetics. Really, why? Why? There are 4 different palettes there, each, if you can't tell, in the shape of a massive heel that would be impossible to work or like walk in. They come in the shades heel, which is like a rainbow palette. There's purple, there's red, and there's blue. They're $24 each, or you can bundle them for $80, which would save you $16. But my question is, like, I mean, we're looking at there's 3, 6, 9 shades in each palette, right? $24 for 9 shades is quite
It's
a
10
bit.
shades per palette.
Is it? Or
Yeah,
like
I just
I can't.
count. Three, no, 1, 2, 3, 4,
I'm
5, 6,
counting
7,
9.
8, 9. No, I
Yeah.
can't count. It's 9.
It's
Don't
okay.
book me.
It's been a difficult time. But for me, I feel like that's an awful lot for 9
Yeah.
shades. And I know we just talked about
You're paying. You're definitely paying for the
for the
packaging.
shade.
Like this is not something you just buy on a shelf. Like when you're designing a palette, this is like I feel like you have to like design this. It's gonna cost more money. It's like more. I don't know. I don't understand why we need this
No.
shapes. Just if you want a heel on there, like a shoe there, can you just put like a high heel shoe on the
On a
cover?
rectangular packaging,
Like
yeah.
I just feel like this puts me like this is gonna put so many people off. Or maybe me and Teresa just hate these things and you all love them.
No.
But
No, you are all filled with hatred, just like me.
it gives me anxiety how it looks. It's so awkwardly shaped. The pans are not in any type of like order. They're all
Yeah.
over the place. I don't like it. And these color stories aren't even like bad.
Yeah, like the
Like
rainbow kind of palette, the look that she's done on her eyes is absolutely
yeah,
gorgeous. I love that. I think there's a massive amount of talent there, and the fact that there's a white mat and a black mat. How many times do we talk about that? I like that.
yeah,
And it shows kind of like the swatches don't look amazing, but on the eyes they look pretty great.
yeah.
But then when I look at some of the other palettes, like the red palette, I mean, I get that it's a monochromatic palette, But like
Yeah.
there's some of those shades that look identical to each other, and
Yeah.
the blue does not go anywhere near deep enough.
Yeah.
Like they need to have like a deep navy midnight
Yeah.
shade in there. Like I how many brands have done monochromatic palettes at this point?
Yeah.
And their
I
mother.
feel like it should be a bit over already.
Yeah. I mean
Like you have them from every single brand. Like I want something new.
ColourPop
And
have even done monochromatic palettes at least 5 times the same shade. It's like, I don't know how
yeah,
many of their green palettes at this stage, but,
yeah.
like, I mean, I think at this point it's very difficult to do a monochromatic palette and make it interesting, and I think their way of attempting to make a monochromatic palette interesting was rather inexplicably to make it into the shape of a shoe, which
Yeah.
as soon as you start fucking with the shape of a palette, it increases the cost to make that. That's why that's $24. I'd say if they hadn't like gone with the ridiculous shape, it maybe would have been like $18.
Yeah.
And it would be an easier pill to swallow then. You kind of be like, "Oh, okay." So I think they've kind of shot themselves in the foot by going with that because
All pun intended.
do you know what? It actually wasn't. That was just I am so pleased with myself. Oh, I love when
That
that happens.
was so nice.
Victory for Teresa. But like I think they have kind of screwed up a little bit by doing that.
Yeah.
Like the thing that they thought would innovate it, I think, is probably the thing that will bring it down, which
Yeah.
is honestly unfortunate because you're talking about like an indie brand, and I always have such a soft spot for indie brands.
Yeah, but I feel like some indie brands are trying to like do this crazy shape packaging and kind of like push forward with that rather than actually like with the product and the color stories and the like like Blend Bunny. Like I feel like she has such a basic package and not even a mirror in here, but she really thinks about like what's in it, the product itself, not the like outside
Yeah,
packaging. And
I
I feel
agree.
like I know we all love like a lovely package and beautiful packaging. It can be a selling point, but not should it shouldn't be the only thing that's like interesting about it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I feel like they've put their focus in the wrong direction. Like, focus on the product itself, like the actual shadows, the shades, the
Yeah,
finishes, like focus on that, the formulas, rather than the outside. We've been told from a very young age the whole, beauty is only skin deep. Don't judge a book by a cover. Do
yeah,
that. Like, seriously, that's our advice. Obviously, it's not for us. And oh my lord, when I put it to you guys, 7% of you loved it, 85% of you said not for me, and 8% of you said I like some of it. So that was whew,
yeah,
it was not taken well. Um, but right, I love when brands are becoming more like consumer friendly and really tapping into the fact that things are becoming financially difficult. And I've always wanted to try About Face by Halsey, but it is quite expensive. But what she's done is she's done a sub brand of About Face. It's called AF94, but everything is so much cheaper. And I'm like, this is so smart. Normally I hate when brands do sub brands. Revolution, I'm looking at you. But this makes sense. And like coming out with a whole chunk of stuff, which I have seen Gregory, our lovely guy Gregory, has used some of it on his TikTok, and I'm dead. It looks gorgeous. There's a lot of stuff. There's gel eyeliners. They come in 8 shades. They're $8 each. They have liquid eyeliners, 10 shades, $8 each. Very, very affordable. You could bundle them for $64, so you'd save quite a bit. There's some false lashes, $5 each, which isn't bad. It's still pricier than if we got them on Shein or Amazon or whatever, but not bad. Some lip glosses, 6 shades, $8 each. Matte liquid lipsticks, 10 shades, $7 each. A multi-use cheek and lip colors. I saw Gregory using that and I thought it was beautiful. They're 5 shades, they're $9 each, or you could bundle them for $38.25. There's mascaras in 4 different shades, $10 each. There's glossy lip crayons, $8 each, or you can bundle them for $51.20. There's eye crayons, 10 different shades, $8 each, or you can bundle them for $68. And then they have some extra things like a 5-in-1 face mist for $7, biodegradable makeup remover wipes for $6, and then they have face and body stickers. So you could get like 1 pack for $10, or you could get 3 packs together for $25.50. I don't give a shit about the stickers, the makeup remover wipes.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. The face mist, also don't care. The other stuff, though, I think is pretty damn interesting. And if I'm honest, I think the stuff that's calling to me the most are the liquid lips, the multi-use cheek and lip colors, and the glossy lip crayons.
Yeah, I feel like the liners, the crayons, and the liquid ones look nice. The liquid
Yeah.
lipsticks, the orangey shade of that like
Mm,
multi-use stick. Oh,
beautiful.
that blue mascara, so nice. I feel like there's a bunch of nice things, and I like that they're like really affordable. I don't know if this is coming to here at all, but
Yeah, I don't know either.
hopefully,
I found they do have their own dedicated website, because there was a point where they were just being sold at Walmart, but they do have a dedicated website now for
but
the F9
is it
filter.
about face on beauty face like the or called beauty
Cult
or
Beauty.
beauty bay? Yeah, they have the like more expensive stuff, so maybe
I would think, that
they
they
could
probably would,
stock them there.
because they already have a partnership, a
Yeah,
deal going on.
that
I
could
would
be
imagine
so
they would
good.
try that. And honestly, if they did do that, I'd be getting it. Like,
Yeah,
definitely.
I would definitely try some of it.
Yeah, I think the things I'm like least interested in are like the eye crayons. There's no kind of shade there that I'm like
Yeah,
bothered about. Um, but that being said, like, I think in all this is pretty damn good
I
for the
think this
price.
is a smart move,
I agree.
but I feel like they have a younger audience too. And I don't think if you're like a teenager, you would have that much money to go and buy 20 euro one product that's like 20 pounds or like 30 pounds or something like that. So it's good that they're coming up with more affordable range. So it's more accessible for
Totally.
everyone.
I totally agree. I am so behind this. I think this is absolutely beautiful. And like some of those shots look stunning. Like there's like a purple like lip crayon, and it looks so beautiful on the model. There's like a
Yeah.
glistening thing to it. It just like her lips look like berries. It's absolutely
Yeah,
stunning.
the chocolate brown
Oh,
crayon thing
yeah.
looks kind of nice.
Oh, it does. Like I think they've done really, really well. They've clearly like kept packaging and stuff fairly minimal,
Yeah,
like where you get like
but that's how they like save with the
exactly.
costs.
And I do like that like the photos don't look to be massively edited either, because
Yeah,
like when I'm looking at the pictures of the lips, you can see like lines and stuff on the lips.
yeah,
So I'm like, okay, so that's actually how it's going to look on me, rather than
yeah,
the amount of photoshopped lips that look like they've never had lines and they're just
yeah,
like, I like this. I like, and I think particularly, like you were saying, a lot of this is going to be pitched at a younger audience. And if
yeah,
they're seeing realistic interpretations of how this is going to look, I think that's really healthy. Just even overall of like, this is how lips look. This is,
yeah.
yeah, I love this. I think this is so great. And I really do hope that they come to Beauty Bay at some point. And so when I was initially showing this, I could only kind of get like pictures of the stands. But when I talked to you guys about the lipsticks and lip glosses, 24% of you said love it, 54% said not for me, 22% said that you liked some of it. When we looked at the lip cheek tints and the mascaras, 22% said love it, 48% said not for me, and 30% said I like some of it. And then when we looked at the eyeliners and liquid lipsticks, 25% said love it, 46% said not for me, and 28% said I like some of it. So I wonder, would that change now that we've had like a much better look at
Yeah,
what these things
because it's
are?
like pretty far. Like you can't really see the products that well at those.
I'm sold. Like I am.
Me
I like it.
too. I like it. I like it.
Then we have Give Me Glow Cosmetics. This is apparently some new shades and some existing shades that have been bundled into this nightlife palette. And I kind of wonder if this is like a collaboration with the girl who did the previous blue and green palette, because the outside is the same
Yeah,
design, but now it's kind of like red toned. But they didn't say anything about that on their website.
yeah.
This looks very, very nice. They're bundling it all together for $45. I think, like, me looking at this, I would use this as like partially blush palette as well.
Oh, I love this. I love the like packaging. I love the art. I love the shades. I think it's such a fun palette. Like for me, this is very pleasing. Like those type of like purples and orange peaches together look so pretty.
Yeah, it's aesthetically so pleasing. And then the swatches of those shimmers, ugh,
Yeah.
like that just makes me want to
So
cry.
gorgeous.
They're beautiful. I think this is done really, really well. And I know it's like we're coming to the end of summer, but what a lovely summery palette.
Yeah, I love it. And the swatches, like, come on, stop it right now. Like that yellow
Oh,
shimmer, like that looks so nice. And then that like pink to green, and then there's like that like gold to pink peach.
they're fabulous.
So pretty. That actually reminds me, that pink to green reminds me really much about like one shade up here. I feel like this is like pink to green
Yeah,
in here, but that looks like on steroids.
yeah,
Pretty.
I agree. I think this is absolutely just so beautiful. And like, I really enjoy Give Me Glow's formula. And I am just desperate for like Beauty Bay or Cult Beauty or something, somebody somewhere
Someone
to
stop
got some.
them.
Yeah,
Like they have so much like beautiful stuff, and I just want to try it.
I think this is a beautiful palette. I am desperate
Oh,
for Give Me Glow to come over here.
right, yes. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it, I love it, I love it.
Yeah, I think that's all we need to say on it. When I put it to you guys, 50% of you love
What?
it.
Are you
That's
guys cray?
but
That
that's
must be
really
a
that is
mistake.
still high, but that is still very high. Think about it.
It is very high, but like I was expecting like 75%
Yeah, but
loves.
we're talking about very exacting people here.
Yeah,
We like what we like. Um,
yeah,
29% said not for me, and 21% said I like some of it. So actually, if you bundled it together, it would be like 71% said that they like
yeah.
it. So correct, essentially. Oh,
We get what
oh,
we want.
yeah. Oh, this next one, sweet merciful Jesus. I am not rich. I'm not rich enough for this. And there's part of me that likes it. And the reason why I like it is I like cats. I like the packaging, but I'm not fucking buying this for the packaging. This is Shantakai, and they have kind of two different sets. One is the Black Jaguar collection, and then one is the Cougar collection. So the Black Jaguar collection has a palette for an amazing $75. And you think to yourself, a palette, Teresa, surely it comes with like 20 shades. No, four shades. 4 shades for $75. And then there's 2 lip kind of cheek things, I don't know, whatever they are. They're $48 each. Not together, each. So if you wanted to get the 2 of them, that's $96. It's fucking ridiculous. Utterly,
Um,
my brain
I'm
can't.
poor. I'm poor. I can't get this.
No!
Well, I don't even want it. Like the packaging is like hell to the yes.
Yes.
I love
Agree.
it. I love cats. We're cat crazy over here. And if you don't like cats, then why are you even here?
Get out. We don't need your
Uh,
negativity.
But like, I don't understand.
The
Like, I
price.
don't. Maybe because I've never been rich, but like those look tiny. Those pants look
No.
tiny. They look tiny.
There's so much wasted space in the palette.
It's just I cannot understand. Like I can't get to that mindset that I'm that rich that I'm just gonna blow $75 for 4 tiny little pans of eyeshadow. That
Oh,
is this even like a good quality?
it stresses me out looking at it.
Oh,
I'm just like,
like I don't care. Uh, just gives me like anxiety.
yeah,
Like
same.
that they're so rich, like that rich people there that could like blow this, buy the whole collection for their 10 friends and be like, that's nothing. It's crazy.
I mean, ethically, I don't know how you can do that. I mean,
Yeah,
they're all right. It's the packaging that gets me. And
yeah,
by the way, if you're interested, the Cougar thing, it's the same thing. Both of the palettes are $75.
yeah.
All of the
The
lip
like Black
$8.
Panther package and like that
I
picture. I'm like,
love
oh,
it.
yeah. I do give them a point that they're kind of like matching the color story.
Yeah, but that's
Like
okay.
they're thought about that.
I will say though, Chanticleer have historically always included like animals and stuff in their packaging. They've like hummingbirds and
Yeah,
like they've always done that. And I know that generally they give a portion to like WWF, and I don't know if that's the case with this
yeah,
one. Usually they give about 5%, which frankly that's not a lot when you're
yeah.
taking that
I don't
much
know. I
money.
would rather just
Give to
donate directly to an animal shelter or like some like charities that support animals, then go buy this and the small percent. Like I think it's fine if you're gonna buy it anyways, you know. You're
yeah,
like, oh, I'm gonna buy it anyways, I love it. Like then I'm like, oh good.
yeah.
But like if you're buying this because you're like, oh, they give money to charity, like it's like I'm
That's
giving
not
money
your
to
reason to get it.
charity. And it's like, no, 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 no. Just donate directly to your local animal shelter. Like that money's gonna way better use. Like they get everything, every single penny usually of that.
Yeah. No, I just can't fathom that.
Yeah,
I think particularly given the fact that a lot of people are having to choose between do I eat today or do I turn the lights on?
yeah.
You know?
And like in this economy, like everything's getting so expensive. So expensive. I like simply could not afford this.
No, I think most of us can't.
Yeah.
But it's
Or
not,
if I would buy this, I would just have to eat my toes for the next 3 months.
yeah. Like the
And I
only
don't want I
circumstance that I would
don't want to
possibly
do that.
no,
No, no.
no. I think the only circumstance where I would possibly buy this would be if I was in a horrible accident and they had given me so much morphine that I forgot who I was and where I
Yeah.
was, but indescribably or inexplicably, they have given me my phone and debit card and gone, off with you. That's the only circumstances where I think I would end up buying it.
Only scenario.
Yeah, very specific. Anyways, when I put it to you guys, 8% of you loved it. 88% said not for me, and 12% said I like some of it. So
I do feel like the big thing is that we all know how
Exactly.
expensive Shantakai is, and we're like instantly no,
Yeah,
no,
I think so
no.
too. It's like an automatic like reflex. Yeah.
Yeah, it just puts us so like off. We're like no, no, no.
Yeah. Then we have It's Belle Cosmetic, and they have their Cool Summer eyeshadow palette. Now, this is a bit different for them because in the past, what they have done is like kind of 9-pan palettes that have like metallics and chromes, etc. And they're some of my favorites. Like the Break the Rules palette is a dearly beloved palette of mine. So I thought this was really interesting that they've kind of changed things up because they have a 16-pan palette, again, much bigger than they would normally go for, and they have it half matte and then half like duochromes or shimmers. So that's very, very different for them. It's retailing for $48 and it is available now. There's something about this, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but I kind of look at it and it kind of reminds me a little bit of Makeup Revolution.
Yeah, like makeup obsession
Like,
package wise.
yeah, and like the color story. Now, I'm
Mhm.
in no way saying the quality is the same because there's no fucking way that it is because I've
Yeah,
tried
no,
it, the Bells
obviously
product,
not.
and they are very, very good. It's just there's something about it that kind of makes
Yeah,
me think of Makeup Obsession particularly.
yeah,
Um, I think as well there's some shades in this that are quite similar to their Flare palette, so I don't know if this is like a need. This is
yeah.
really for me, but like the swatches, there's some shades there that I think definitely look very, very
Looks
pretty.
stunning.
Yeah,
Like I like parts of it.
same,
I don't really like the top row. I'm like, why is it there?
same. That's what I'm.
Like, can you imagine if there wasn't the top row? I would be in love with
I think
this.
you're exactly right. If
Like when
that
I
was
pluck
eliminated,
that away, it looks so amazing. Like obviously, I don't think this is meant to be for like a standalone palette. Like I don't feel like the any of the shades like it doesn't go deep enough for you to like if you're a person who likes like a lot of depth in your look. I don't think this goes like deep enough. But I just such a shame because when I cover that top row,
I agree.
I'm like I'm
That
actually in
elevates
love with it.
it elevates it so much. I think it's
Yeah.
a pity because, like I said, this is the first time they've done it where they've brought in mattes. They've only ever
Yeah.
done like those duochrome shimmers, etc. And like that's kind of been their thing of like not having standalone palettes. But I think this was their attempt to have a standalone palette, but it
Yeah.
didn't work as that either. So
Yeah.
I
I
like
don't
their
hate it. Like
yeah,
if this was like magically appeared to my house, I would probably use it. I would love it. Like I've tested the Break the Rules palette on Teresa, so it was amazing. Like the shimmers look stunning, and I almost bought it to myself. The only thing why I don't because it is an indie brand and the shipping times are really long there,
yeah,
and I'm
you
just
do want
very impatient person, so I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna wait that long.
that's
If it was like they would ship it out instantly, I would have bought it, but it's just I'm not that person who waits like months and months. But I don't know. I feel like they should have like worked tiny bit more on this.
yeah. I think it was so very nearly there. So
Yeah,
I totally agree with you on like if that row was out,
yeah.
just be fabulous. Anyways, when I put it to you guys, 17% of you loved it, 56% said not for me, and 28% said that I like some of it. And the last thing that we're going to talk about in part one of releases and rants this weekend is Coloured Rain. And it feels like Coloured Rain have been coming out with so many things recently. I need them
Are
to.
they the new color pop?
Yeah, I don't love it. Like I like their formulas and I find that they're generally pretty good, but I don't like that they're heading towards that fast beauty sort of trend.
Yeah,
But this is their Secret Garden collection. The eyeshadow palette is $16. There's two matte liquid lipsticks. They're $10 each. There's lip liners which kind of match them for $10, or you get the full thing for $50. At least it's not like a huge collection, but considering they've come out with so much recently, I'm kind of like, this isn't necessary. I also feel like when I'm looking at that palette, I wouldn't know what to do with
Yeah. I feel like it kind of reminds me. Beauty Bay does it all, but like,
the
does it
wilderness.
really like a little bit remind you of like the color stories? Like you have the warms and then the greens there, kind of reminds me of the wilderness.
But not
Um,
executed as well.
yeah, but not like, I feel like they could have picked the shades a bit better in this. Like, I don't hate the color story. I just feel like when there's like two like grungy greens on top row, like that light and the grungy green, I don't really understand that tealy green there.
Mhm.
I feel like people are gonna have harder time to blend those all together. So I would have liked to see like a medium, like a between the really light, like green and the like grungy green, something between that.
Yeah, it's too much of a jump in
Yeah, and then I
terms of
also
depth.
feel like the pink and the orange at the end are very like same tone,
Yeah.
like at the same depth. I mean, not
Yeah.
same tone, at the same depth. So I think they should have like maybe add one lighter or one like a really, really deep
Yeah.
aubergine would have looked amazing. Maybe take that
Oh,
orange out of there.
I love that idea. But do you know,
Yeah,
the thing that gets me is because I've tried quite a few of their cutie palettes, the little six pans. I've tried
yeah,
all the four that came in the chic collection, and the mattes are okay, they're fine. But the thing that they do the best, in my opinion, are the shimmers. And this is an all matte palette. There doesn't seem to be any shimmers in there, and yet
yeah,
they're looking for the same price, $16 for that. And I just don't think that that warrants that price
yeah.
tag.
It's kind of shame because the packaging and the like idea is really cool, and I like the first at first glance when I saw, I was like, ooh. But
Yeah,
then when you look at it more at the palette, it just doesn't make
yeah.
sense.
I will say I love that there's a little fox in it. I love foxes. So,
Yeah,
but I'm not getting it for that. I like the lip colors. They're nice.
yeah.
And I find their lip formulas are really nice as well. Like I've nothing negative to say there, but this just feels a bit half baked,
Yeah,
like not fully thought through. And I think again, if because they went a really long time without coming out with stuff, and now they've just gone
yeah,
la 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 la. And I wish they'd taken more time to just
yeah.
put these things through because it does feel a bit like
I
half.
don't I don't like when brands are like going like bam, 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 bam. Like every month there's something new. So I don't even have time to like,
Appreciate what's
kind of
already there.
appreciate the things that they come out with because there's constantly something new and you forget about the other things that were like released before it. So I feel like brands should really think about like I think like maybe 4 launches a year
I think
is
so too.
like have a collection like every like season. You don't really need
Absolutely.
more than that. But I feel like it's become this thing that who releases the most new exciting thing next, and it's like this competition with the other brands, and you're trying to release so much stuff that maybe something sticks.
Yeah, throw enough shit at the wall and something will stick essentially. Yeah, it's not for me. I wish them the best of luck. I
Yeah,
like their brand, but I'm worried about the direction that they're going in
yeah,
at the moment. When I put it to you guys, 36% of you loved it, 40% said not for me, and 24% said that you liked some of it. But that is the end of part one. But I do have my favorite comment for this part, and this is from somebody rather anonymous I've never heard of before. I don't know if I can pronounce the name. Makama anyways, Makama up Missa, and she said both of your attempts at sports were ridiculous. The justifications were absurd. Frankly, that is rude, and you have been blocked. So farewell.
obviously this Makemia miss doesn't know anything about sports or makeup
Oh, clearly doesn't know a
because
thing about
we
makeup.
killed it. Like we were excellent
Sports
at
go
that.
sports.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, that is the end of part 1. Do keep an eye out for part 2, which is coming tomorrow on Sunday. We're very, very generous to you because we've fucked off and abandoned you for like 2 weeks. But that is the end of this episode, and we will see you guys in the next one. Bye!
Bye.